Coming up on Guys Talking Sports, we talk about Major League Baseball and where that's heading. We talk about the NBA and where that's heading. We also talk about the FIFA and the women's sports team and where they're heading. And don't you think it's time for them to increase the women's pay in sports? My guest host, Adrian Catwell, joins me now on Guys Talking Sports. What's going on, everybody? This is Guys Talking Sports, and I'm your host, Al Qualls, bringing you another episode. First of all, let me thank everybody for subscribing and been watching the previous podcast that me and my friends put together. I really do appreciate it. I mean, the number of views that I've seen lately is just spiked up, and I'm just excited about what we're going to do in the future with Guys Talking Sports. But enough about that. Let's get right into it, Guys Talking Sports, with my guest host with me, Adrian Catwell. So, Adrian, man, how's everything going?
Everything's great. It's another beautiful Thursday night, can't complain. A good day at work. Now, time to discuss what's going on in the world of that thing we call sports. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. As always, as am I. I'm always looking forward to talking about sports, especially being every week. But it's really been not that much sports to talk about these past couple of days. I mean, everything has really been dying down. I guess, like you said, with the start of NFL's the camp starting, and I guess that's been pretty much it. I mean, a lot of sports news, but not as much where everything, not as much sports news, I guess, this week.
Right. I guess the one thing that comes to mind, I guess, is with the football training camps that are going to be opening up this weekend or next week. And I guess we're coming down to the few last couple of free agents signing their contracts with the NBA, and baseball is definitely in full swing. Talk about those Yankees. I'm telling you, Yankees sweep the Orioles.
Very shocking.
I'm always a fan of the Yankees sweeping the Orioles, especially in the DMV. And I'm kind of close to where I can get the Baltimore ESPN. It's not the ESPN station, but it's one of the Baltimore sports stations. And I tell you what, their despise of the Yankees is something awful. So they are sick right now, getting swept by the Yankees. And I just sit in the car and smile and just shake my head like, yeah, we own y'all.
But you know what? Let's talk about the Yankees. From what from the noise up here is basically how, of course, A-Rod has done a complete 180. But there was a question that was brought up, so I'm going to propose it to you since you are a Yankees fan. My question is, do you really believe that this Yankees team right now is A-Rod's team?
I think A-Rod definitely is putting up numbers the Yankees didn't anticipate. I truly think in the beginning the Yankees really wanted A-Rod to be doing pretty bad so it could give them a reason to try to get out of the contract or try to get rid of him. But his surprising play throughout the entire season, he claims that he's as healthy as he's been in a long time, and he's sitting out of baseball for a year. I guess he stayed out of the limelight for a while and just really concentrated on getting healthy, rehabbing, getting his body in shape, ready to play for the season. And not to mention Teixeira coming through and really putting up some decent numbers. The team has stayed relatively healthy. And pitching, the pitching seems to be rounding up in the form, and it does suck the fact that Boston, Tampa Bay, and Toronto haven't been playing all that great. The Orioles at one point a couple of weeks ago were in first place, but as of today now they're 7 back, just being swept by the Yankees. But we all know, now we're coming into the dog days of summer with baseball. August is a tough month. It's really hot outside. They're playing almost every day. Baseball is just a real fickle sport. You could be hot one minute and cold the next. So the Yankees just gonna have to keep putting their foot on the throat of the Orioles and just make sure that any chance they have opportunity to increase their lead to do so, because I see the Yankees coming through with a little slump. I don't anticipate them staying hot all summer, But as it stands right now, they are. If the voting were today, they would be the surprise team of the year. A-Rod would get comeback player of the year. Girardi would get coach of the year. The Yankees would just be a clean sweep.
Yeah, no, I really do agree with that. It's been a surprising year for the Yankees. And there's now what that does is give the fans up here a lot of hope, I should say, because now all I'm hearing, especially throughout the radio broadcast up here, is that if the Yankees make the playoffs, then they're a dangerous team to take it all. So, like I said, it's definitely interesting to see how everything 180 from the previous season, and especially in regards to A-Rod. So.
Right. And truth be told, A-Rod is a feel-good story. People are going to have their dislike for A-Rod just because of all the stuff that he did, as far as the PEDs, the lying, the elaborate ways to hide it and all that stuff. I just wish that he had never gone down that road. I just wish he'd have been like everybody else, like, yeah, I did it. Okay, I'm sorry. Boom. Let's move on. Because despite how well he does this season, it's always going to be tarnished by the fact that he took those PEDs, and it's just not a good look. So I'm happy as a Yankees fan, somebody who's been a Yankees fan all my life, to see that the Yankees are doing well this season. But A-Rod, though he's playing well, and though, in the New York media, they love you when you're doing great, and they'll just take a dump on you when you're doing bad. They'll just crap all over you. So, the New York metropolitan area is definitely embracing A-Rod and the Yankees right now. But if it were the other way around, they're probably calling for him to be out of here, calling for his head, the whole 9 yards. Just wish it didn't have to be like that, because I truly think that he didn't need PEDs to be the player that he is. As you can see right now, he put up 20 home runs, and we're not even in August yet. I mean, I'm sure he has another 10 or 15 left in him before the end of the season.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say he's probably going to hit 35 home runs and drive in 110 RBIs. And this is at 40 years old, or just about to be 40.
No, I would not put that out. To be honest, I definitely see that happening. And it's amazing that how, like I said, there was so much scrutiny about A-Rod in the beginning, last year, and how people were saying that they don't want him on the team. And look how everything is now progressed now, where he is, quote unquote, to be honest, one of the leaders of the team. That's leading the team to the postseason. And with a year removed of Derek Jeter, it's interesting to know that how things have been for him. Like, this world where fans will treat you like garbage one day and praise you the next day, it's so interesting. Right. Like you said, and you had diehard Yankee fans saying literally like they didn't want him to be a part of the organization anymore. And now you see it. The fans are saying that was saying that before, saying, "Hey, all right, let's give him a break. He's done everything that he needed to do to help this team win and make it to the postseason." So I definitely agree with you in what you were saying in regards to him being the comeback player of the year, especially if they make the playoffs, especially if they by chance win their division, of course. But I really believe that, if anything, this just goes to show you that, the people that hate you one day, it will turn around and love you the next day. And to be honest, he didn't even have to do anything in regards to be it in the media limelight or anything this year. He's just playing his game. And I think that's what fans wanted him to do all in the beginning, all in all, throughout his career. just play it the right way. And I think now fans are starting to see him play the right way and appreciate him a lot more now that they know that he's playing the right way. So
true, I agree.
So,
I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see he's playing well. I mean, that's good. I'm just happy as a whole the Yankees are doing well. I would love to see them make the playoffs. You know, baseball is always good when the Yankees are in the playoffs. Of course, nobody likes to see the evil empire doing well, especially the team to the north, the Red Sox, and of course the team to the south in Baltimore. But hey, you know, they assembled a pretty nice staff and a pretty nice squad, and they're achieving in a way that most people didn't think. And it was funny, like one of the radio personalities at the Baltimore station was like, you know, I really hate to say this, but he's like, man, Yankees got a really good squad. He said the pitching is top notch. He said the top of their lineup is doing well. You got A-Rod, you got Teixeira, everybody's pitching in. They got great speed. It's just an overall great team, and it just pains me to have me say this right now, but I got to give credit where credit's due. And I'm like, and I'm just loving the approach that Cashman is taking nowadays. He's not sitting there trying to overspend to get high-priced players coming in. You know, get pieces that will complement what you have, and in hopes that strong pitching and good timely hitting will create wins for you. And I'm loving that philosophy. But don't get me wrong, I love the '90s when they were going out there spending boatloads of cash because they had it. So yeah. I like it on both ends.
No, I agree with you on that. But like you said, to be honest, everybody needs to take that format in regards to, instead of overspending for these players all the time, basically just start the rebuilding process and build from within your organization. And you see a lot of successful teams do that nowadays. They're not just in major leagues, of course the NBA as well as NFL. So, well, I can't really say the NFL, but especially the NBA. You know, that's the tool for teams that's always hot in the playoffs or who are always in the playoffs. San Antonio, for example, is one of the teams that always comes to mind in regards to building from within their organization.
Right.
Those type of teams, once you get that formula in place and just keep the talent that you have with you, instead of going after people over the hill players. Well, I'm not gonna say over the hill players, but most definitely players that's been around a league for so long. You know, that's what back in the heyday, you know, teams would willingly overpay to get those players in. But now you're starting to see the success teams that are rebuilding are starting to have. So, like I said, the blueprint is there. It's just a matter of the teams doing it the right way to get the end result. And if they stick to the blueprint, most likely they'll find out they'll be a lot more successful than what they think.
Right, exactly. So, just good to see. It's good to see that, you know, the Mets are doing well. I mean, as a whole, baseball, like we discussed last week, how people don't really appreciate the sport for really what it is and how it's supposed to be played. You know, that's what makes baseball so intriguing. You know, it's just the little things. It's just like they say in all sports, you know, a bounce here, a catch there, a bucket in this particular situation could turn a game from one scenario to the next. You know, just like in baseball, you know, one bad hop or one unexpected error or one person running the bases kind of lacklustery or you know, lose or falling asleep on the base pad and getting picked off or whatever. It's just it's such an intricate sport. You know, it's almost like a sport where you're playing more so chess than you're playing checkers or any other, you know, any type of game that requires some skill, because it's all about matchups. It's all about situations. It's all about batter versus hitter, positions in the field, you know, with the shifts. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to watch. And unfortunately, with football, and like football, you know, football has its own his own skills, his own set of I guess you could say his chess is it's definitely a chess match with football too, because the offensive minds versus the defensive minds, and head coach trying to outsmart the other head coach. I mean, it's all different types of philosophies of chess when you really look at it.
Yeah.
But I always will have a deep root love for baseball. I mean, just growing up is just something I always loved. And though, the experience is always better to go to the game than to sit there and watch it on TV, I still prefer baseball over football or basketball. Baseball is one to me, and baseball and football and basketball is like 1B and 1C, or 1A and 1B. Because baseball is still number one. It's just such a great sport.
Yes, because of what we talked about before about the defense.
Right.
No, I definitely understand that. I think that right now it's just a matter of time for hopefully fans get that aspect of it when it comes to those just the level of play, not just in just in all sports. Especially you see that now with kids trying teaching kids the right way and teaching college players the right way before going into the pro levels. It's those type of things to make it more enjoyable, not just for the players to play, of course, but for the fans as well. And just seeing that, those games out there where players are giving it their all. And like you said, with baseball being a defensive sport last week, it definitely is something. It's a chess match. And you just want to. I like the aspect of it where coaches are adapting and making changes to affect the other team's play, so that they give their teams the better chance to win. I think that's one of the things that I like about the competition in sports. What are you going to do to counteract what I'm doing right now? So it's all about adaptability, and if you have the ability to adapt to certain situations in the middle of games, I think that's something that fans will. Me as a fan, I love to see that because it's a thinking man's game, on the fly.
Right. That's about sport in general. The only thing I guess with football, I remember my days playing football when they said the head coach always scripted out the first 15 to 20 plays offensively to set the tone of the game, to see where we have to go, and then make adjustments once those 10 to 20 plays have been run. I guess you could say the same thing is about baseball, I guess. I guess it just depends on how effective the pitcher is during the first couple of innings of the game. If the pitcher is really having it bad, I really guess you can't really script baseball. I mean, I guess you could, because you're scouting the batters ahead of time, and you kind of know their tendencies, and they have ways to monitor how batters hit against certain pitches. So I guess you could have an idea of what pitches, and that's why it's so important. The catcher is looking into the dugout to figure out what pitches to throw to certain batters. So yeah, I guess it's the same with baseball as it is with football. It's just different ways of going about certain strategies.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, like when you think about it, though, like that you're playing. Let's say, for example, you playing the next team that you're playing has one of the hottest hitters in the game, and you're thinking whether or not you're going to have the pitcher just outplay him, or you're just gonna say, you know what, he's been too hot lately. He's been hitting home runs every game. Why don't we just walk him? And if he's the only bat, like stuff like that,
Right.
That's, I guess, is more interesting to me because, you're curious to see how they're going to play this particular batter, or, if they're going to have the defense come in or, extend out, like those type of things to me. Like I said, I'm a thinking person. So I like to see what plays is drawn out or how the defense is going to react to, or what type of things is going to happen to affect the outcome of a game. And whether it's baseball, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, somebody's got to counteract and just say, because like you said, there's so many scouts out there, so many videos of the previous games played or something like that. You you have everything to prepare for the next team, no matter who you play. But yet, somebody's going to make some type of adjustment to get you out of that element where you're going to either have to think on the fly or just if it's working for you, then just continue to do what you're doing. So.
Yeah, agreed. And again, that this comes with the beauty of sports. It's no different if you're playing hockey or no different in tennis. They scout their opponents, probably watch videos of them, scout, kind of see their tendencies of how they attack the ball when they do this or attack the net. Basketball is just the ultimate team sport. But like I know, I played a little hoops in high school. You sit there and you watch film with your opponent to see who the best player is and how they run their offense and defensive sets. I mean, everybody does the same things. Just every sport just has their ways of certain nuances to try to gain that competitive advantage. And I guess that's why we as fans pay so close attention to all that, because we're the armchair quarterbacks or we're the lounge GMs, or in this case we are the Google Plus hangout. I don't know, owners of whatever we're talking about, because everybody has their own ideas and thought processes of how things should be done, and that's the beauty of it,
No, I agree with that.
And sometimes, depending on the team, like Green Bay, Green Bay is publicly owned by the city. The fans of Green Bay, I'm sure they could throw their little 2 cents into the hat to give some suggestions, whether or not that the owner or the team itself takes those suggestions to heart. But they have every right to do so.
Definitely, they have every right to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that's what makes Green Bay, their fans, so loyal, because they feel as though that they're part of the team, man. I can't knock them for that. I think Green Bay haven't, their fans is just they're there. They're there. Right. They're loyal, very loyal. One of the loyalest fans I know that's out there. So, but I mean, other than that, I mean, there's not really much in regards to sports that we, unless you know something else that I don't know.
Nah, other than that buffoon with Sean McCoy and his little toy, whatever the heck he's trying to do. But outside of that, I mean, it's not even worth bringing up a conversation, really.
No, I got to bring this up. First of all, I know he's in Buffalo. So I guess he's still trying to finish up sowing his oats in Philly. But if it's true, I have to say that either, to be honest, I don't even know what to say. Like, that if it's true, that's a that dude, and he's not being like discreet about it. You know what I'm saying? He's just basically telling you he's telling you he don't want no dudes. It's females only, which means that he's only going to bring his entourage, of course.
Exactly.
Females only.
And then what's really going on at this damn party, this private location?
No, I don't know if you saw the requirements. The requirements is females only. You have to be over 21. Mm-hmm. You must sign a consent form. And bring proper ID with you. There is no one-ins. You just reserve. You RSVP only for yourself.
Yep. And you're saying that whatever happens in this joint, no matter how foul it may turn up to be, by signing this consent form, you cannot press any type of charges, can't go any legal right. So it sounds like, to me, it's like a big old swing party he's trying to bring up or something. I don't know. I mean, what else? All female event. He's bringing his entourage. What else could it possibly be?
I'm just, I put it like this. Any girl that goes there, and I don't defend the fellas on this, but any girl that goes there, I'm going to say this right now. If you go there, knowing that you sign a consent form, knowing that all this is going down, I don't want to see you being upset or anything. If something was to get posted online with you doing something that you have no business doing.
Exactly.
And that's all, and I'm putting this out there as a disclaimer. If this is true, if you go there, basically you're already consenting to everything that they're possibly going to do there. So you're basically consenting to everything. So if there's video cameras all around or whatever the case may be, you're putting it out there on yourself. So
it's a shame too.
Yeah, and it's the same. But you know what though? I can't knock him because he's just being a single person that he is. He has the money to do it. So, that's him. That's on him. If you go, it's not like he's not drawing. It's not like you don't know what's going to happen if you go there. So that's all I'm saying. So, and I'm pretty sure that you'll have a couple of, side offs and jump offs or, people there that, that's all they want to do anyway. So
it's, that this will definitely have the groupie ladies kind of rise to the top.
Yes.
In this particular scenario, because I'm like, no, LaShawn wouldn't do that. He's such a nice guy, blah, 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 whatever.
Yes.
And to put it out there publicly to say, hey, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm LaShawn McCoy. I'm with the Buffalo Bills. I just want females, 21, proper ID. I need all your social media account names to say, yeah, I need you not to be posted on none of these things and talking about what's going on here. I mean, if they know all of this information and they still decide to go, then whatever consequences that they be facing when they get there, they brought it upon themselves. There's no one else to blame, and I don't want to hear nobody crying foul.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's the same person that kicked off a girl off the turnpike, I believe, on a party bus.
Oh wow.
Keep that in mind. I think that was something. There was reports about that, rumors about it when he was still in Philadelphia.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And what makes it even more crazy, he's not going to approve you unless you send a photo of yourself to him.
Right.
Like, if that ain't blatant enough for you to understand, I don't know what is. And you know what? I'm not saying it so that, to discourage you girls from doing whatever it is that you want to do. That's on you. I'm just saying, there's consequences, and obviously he's telling you that something is going to go down. If you go, So
whether they want to come to grips with it and realize that's the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best of luck to them. Best of luck to LaShawn McCoy.
Exactly. But I can't knock him. I can't knock him for it because it's a bold move, but he's putting it out there so that, the females know, hey, look, this is what you're getting yourself into. I'm not even. He's at this point where it's like, look, I'm done playing games. This is what you're getting yourself into. If you want to still get down, send me your photo, point blank. If you don't, hey, I ain't no sweat off his back. He's still going to continue to do him, and he's still going to get girls sending him pictures.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. $1 million can, people with millions of dollars just have that much time in their hands to do stuff like that. And probably his entourage is picking the photos.
Probably.
I guess it's just more. I guess it's just more because of me wanting to probably be a part of their entourage, but no, but
it wouldn't shock me in a bit that he puts his name out there and probably does a cameo and then bounce out.
Aha! Yeah. And you know what? The girls want to know that because they signed a consent form. They probably can't tell what happened. And his entourage could just do whatever they could do and just call it a day. It's kind of a slick move when you think about it. Or, for how they set it up, I should say, it's kind of a slick move. But,
It wouldn't shock me in the slightest, man.
Yeah, true. All right, enough about him. Enough about him. That's just another story. But other than that, there's really haven't been that much. Oh, I do want to say congratulations to Becky Hammon and her summer team for coaching the summer team of the San Antonio Spurs to the Summer League championship.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Becky Hammon is going to be a head coach in the NBA soon, very soon. I would not be surprised if one of the teams give her a shot to be a head coach. And it's a shame because I'm not saying it's a shame for her. I'm saying it's a shame for other assistant coaches that has been in the league for like so many years and still have yet to found a head coaching job, i.e. Patrick Ewing. So I would like to. I do want to say congratulations to Becky Hammon, but I do feel sorry for those assistant coaches who are not gotten. Well, I can't say not gotten the opportunity because I know a lot of them interviewed for the positions, but I just find it though that I have a feeling that Becky is going to definitely become the first NBA women's coach. Period. Not even assistant head coach. I mean.
Some team wants to be notarized and being seen as that team that was the first one to do it, and they're hoping they can be successful.
Yeah.
Also, I also want to give a shout out to, I can't think of the young lady's name, but it's the young lady from the Women's National World, the FIFA champion, being recognized and honored on the cover of FIFA 16 that comes out for the Xbox One and the PS4 and on PC. First time a female athlete has ever donned the cover of a video game title that's typically geared for dudes. So that's kudos.
Was that Carly?
I think so. Carly, yeah. I think so.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, because of her hat trick. That's right. So I believe. Yeah, I think you're right. It was Carly. Yes. Then congratulations to her as well. I know she's just on a magical run right now. I mean, to do all the things that she done first, and plus win the championship, the parades and all that stuff.
Right. And now being featured on a video game.
Mm-hmm. That's just a stepping stone.
That's a video game that is popular worldwide. We ain't talking about United States. We're talking about FIFA is like one of the most played video games out there on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just bananas. That's wonderful. It's a step in the right direction because female athletes, unless it's the Serenas of the world or something, don't get the full notoriety that they need because a lot of times those sports aren't featured here in the U.S. So It's good to see that, the women's sport, WNBA, is gaining more notoriety. So more and more fans are coming on. Soccer is gaining more and more traction here from both men and women. Unfortunately, there'll never be a women's football league, but
unless you consider the lingerie bowl.
Man, look, responsibility. Who knows? We'll see.
I know. I do agree with the fact that, but it's good that they're starting to get notarized. But it'd be more so important if they were to get paid like the men's does.
Definitely.
And that's or at least equal to it. I saw the comparison of the average winnings for the men versus the women, and at this point, that's totally ridiculous. Like that's not even like a 60-40 type thing. That's more of a 90. Yeah, 90. No, to be honest, yes, a 90-10, and it's really a shame. And hopefully, the new person in charge of FIFA once Seth Blatt is out, it will make some changes into doing something in that regard because for it to be that type of a mismatch in this year, it's very alarming.
Right.
And side note, I have to. Usually, I won't say shout outs to unless in sports, but I have to say a shout out to the comedian that did what he did with the FIBA commissioner. I literally thought that was brilliant.
I don't think I've heard that one yet.
The video?
Yeah.
Oh man! Oh, you gotta see it. If you YouTube it, you'll see it. One of the UK comedians, FIBA was given some type of presentation. I think it's Seth Black, the commissioner of FIBA, was there, and you know about the corruption and everything he did.
Right.
A comedian came up. He said something. I forgot what the words were. But then he had a wad of cash, fake bills, and he just threw it up in the air. No, he threw it at Seth Black, and threw the rest of it up in the air. And the video is hilarious. Like the security had to come and get him, but I thought it was just interesting to see how he portrayed it, and I thought it was a great job by him, honestly.
I'm gonna definitely look that up.
Yeah, no, but like I said, the whole thing about the corruption and everything, that's just something that needs to be overhauled. Hopefully the new commissioner will do something in that regards and give at least a boost in the women's soccer and their ratings, their earnings as well, because right now that's not even a comparison right now at the moment. It's like really the ladies are playing for free. And I think that if anything, that should help. Not just FIBA, but the U.S. as well.
Right.
Because some of the things that I heard about the women's soccer, staying in people's houses, while they're playing, that should never come to that at this point, especially in the world we live in where the women has a right to do everything and could probably do it better and draw a better rate earning than some of the guys do, especially in some of the sports we have. For example, Ronda Rousey is pretty much the only thing that people hear a lot more of when it comes to UFC than any other player, right? Any other athlete at the moment. And like I said, with the FIBA's Women's Cup, it's just a matter of time before the women's team continue to rise up and not just be on par, but may possibly pass the men in certain sports. So, Serena is doing that already with tennis.
Right. Right. You got that right.
So,
definitely got that right.
Hopefully down the road that'll be something that the directors or whoever it is that's in charge will actually work to accomplish, because women do need to be more involved and earn more than what they're making currently. And
right, I agree with you 110%.
All right. Other than that, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'm sure between now and next week, some foolishness or some tomfoolery type of thing will drop off, and then we'll definitely have some interesting content to discuss.
Yes, definitely. Most likely we'll probably be starting to talk about football season too soon. Yeah. So what we're probably going to end up doing is, and I had to talk to you guys, you and Earl as well. What we're probably going to end up doing down the road is we'll probably start like a two-a-days to talk about each of the football teams that's out there, or we could just do it by division. But that's something that we'll talk about later.
Definitely.
All right, but for now, for everybody else, of course, this is Guys Talking Sports. Really appreciate you guys taking a watch. Again, to everybody that's been watching, I really do appreciate. Now before I even get to all that, I'd like to thank Adrian Catwell again for stopping by and giving us his insight in the world of sports. So I really do appreciate it, man. And tell the world where they can find you at.
Let me see if I can get this right this time. You can find me on Twitter at CatDaddy1963. Once again, that's CatDaddy1963, all one word. You can find me on Twitter. Hit me up. Let me know what you think of the broadcast, and leave some suggestions and some topics that you think as though we haven't touched or that we should address in future broadcasts.
All right. And for me as well, you can catch me at I am Al Qualls. That's my Twitter handle. I am Al Qualls. You can also catch me on YouTube as well at I am Al Qualls, and on Facebook. Even though I really don't do it as much, as well as under Al Qualls. Instagram as well. I'm starting to do that. And for my folks on Periscope.tv, right now I'm recording live, but you can find me on that as well. The links is on my Twitter handle. I really do appreciate you guys for checking out the video. If you really like it, I hope that you can subscribe, which is on the lower right-hand side. Really do appreciate you subscribing. For all those that subscribed already, I'd like to say thank you. And for everybody else, you can catch us next week again. We talk guys talking sports again, as we always do. But for now, this is Al Call saying guys talking sports is now over, so y'all can do what y'all need to do. Talk to y'all later.